Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room. Yes, I kept it ready this time. Put this away. There we go. All right, we'll stop that. And today, what have we got? We've got like two or three. Oh, yes. Another group of three interesting artists / composers. First and foremost, this wonderful RCA living stereo recording of operatic arias sung by Leonid Rysanek. She didn't make a lot of recital discs. She did quite a few complete operas and things. But oh, what a wonderful singer she was. You know, she had a quirky voice. As she got older, I mean, she never lost her high notes. It was the middle that kind of started to go. And it was always like that. She had really secure high notes, and below that, things could happen. But this is a terrific recital of Verdi and Puccini and Giordano. And what do we got? Oh, John Vickers is popping in here too, of course. I love her, Desdemona, and that Serafin Otello. It's just great with Vickers. Anyway. We have Verdi, La Forza del Destino, Pace Pace Mio Dio, Visidarte from Tosca, you know, the big numbers from Aida, Ritorna Vincitor and O Patria Mia, La Mamma Morta from Andrea Chenier. Oh, it's such trash, but fun trash. In Questa Regia from Turandot, Voi lo sapete from that's Mozart, right? Voi che sapete. No, from Cavalleria Rusticana, that's the thing. Her stuff from Otello, the Willow Song and the Ave Maria, from Verdi's Ballo, a couple things from there, and Macbeth, ooh, La Luce Langue, oh, I love it. And Otello's Giovanella Nota Densa. Yeah, that's the end of Otello. From the Tullio Serafin recording, they stuffed it on here, which was awfully nice of them. A wonderful recital and a memento of a really first-class singer, an interesting singer, an intelligent singer, wonderful. Then we've got this Marco Polo disc of Vladimir Ryabov, who was born in 1950, and so who knows, he may still be around. This is his fourth symphony in E minor, Opus 22. Now, whose fourth symphony is in E minor? Right, Brahms's, and this is dedicated to Brahms, and it quotes Brahms and does some Brahmsy things, along with a lot of other things that Brahms would probably roll over in his grave if he heard. And his Concerto of Waltzes, which is a delightful piece. This is very, very interesting disc. He's a composer worth getting to know, I think. I really do. It's listenable, it's enjoyable, it's colorful, it's got character, really, personality, all these things. So you may want to give it a shot. Here it is, in case you want to know how to spell him. I mean, of course, I wrote it down below here in case you're curious. But yeah, this is the only disc of his that I have. So you know, a lot of these are sort of one-off things. But then, oh, we have a clump, a serious clump, John Rutter. Now, we all know John Rutter. I mean, you all know John Rutter if you've ever sung in English anyway, Christmas carols, because John Rutter wrote those books and books and books of carols for choirs, which contain rather perfunctory, well, not perfunctory, but they're in the standard format settings of Christmas carols, because you get the basic version, each one for each verse. You get like the basic normal version, then the yummy 4-part harmony version, then the unison version, then the version with the descant, with the sopranos whooping it up on the top, and you just sort of go through them that way, and they all sort of sound like that, but they're wonderful. They're wonderfully written and extremely enjoyable, but he also composed a lot of his own music, and I've talked about before the wonderful opportunity I had to play percussion in recordings of his Magnificat and his Te Deum and Requiem and other pieces. And yeah, so here we have Rutter with his own Cambridge singers doing this is the Requiem. There it is, the Rutter Requiem, which is really very beautiful, pretty work. And then a bunch of anthems and other goodies, which we're not going to get into in huge detail. And we have over here fancies for choir and chamber orchestra. The Suite Atique for flute, harpsichord, and strings. This is quite pretty. It's really charming. You'd be hard pressed to determine who the composer was, but it's really a lovely little work. 5 childhood lyrics for unaccompanied choir, and When Icicles Hang for choir and orchestra. These are really enjoyable works that choirs would do well to look into, aside from just doing the usual carols for choirs. Of course, Rutter, travels around and does his own stuff, or did his own stuff. What's this stuff? Oh, 3 musical fables. Yeah, The Reluctant Dragon, Brother Henrik's Christmas, and The Wind in the Willows, with narrator. Oh, I hate narrator. Narrator and choir with the King's Singers and Orchestra, conducted by Richard Hickox, conducted by John Rutter, conducted by Richard Hickox. Back in the day, when was this recorded? Good heavens, this is on Collegium, which was Rutter's own label, I think. Let's see, what does it say when, what the date was? No, why should they tell us? I mean, information is at a premium. The Magnificat. Oh, what fun do we have with the Magnificat? Goodness gracious. I mean, this is the thing I told you about, this piece called The Falcon, and a couple anthems. This is the Cambridge Singers and the City of London Sinfonia under Rutter himself. Now, the Magnificat has a part, I've told this story before, but what the hell, I'm here, so we might as well, for bongos. A couple of bongos, and I was the bongist in the performance at Carnegie Hall of the Magnificat, and the choir is going, Magnificat, Magnificat, and I'm supposed to go chunk, 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 like this on the bongos, and you could never get them loud enough, and it was really bugging him. So I finally got a couple of hard yarn mallets and really banged on those suckers, and he finally got what he wanted. He's a delightful man. I mean, he's so sweet, and he was pleasant, and he was working with one of those. It was a Mid-America production, which was this thing where, the singers, the choirs from like the Midwest would actually pay to give a concert at Carnegie Hall, and they would hire serious people to direct the whole thing, John Rutter being one of them. This was a concert of his own music, so it was really serious. You get all these high school choirs together, and he would have to sort of forge them into a unity for these concerts, and he did it with consummate professionalism and good cheer. Absolutely. But at one point, as they were singing Magnificat, the Magnificat bit, he was getting frustrated. He said to the choir, choir, you don't have the right atmosphere. It wants to sound like a fiesta. Imagine yourself walking down the streets of Seville, clicking your castanets, singing Magnificat. So I raised my hand, and he said, yeah. I said, you want castanets? I have castanets. You don't need bongos, we have castanets. He said, no, play it as written. I said, yes, but you said you wanted castanets. He said, well, no, just play the way it's written. I said, but you have bongos, I have castanets. Anyway, I was kind of obnoxious. But we had a good time, and really, we had a chat afterwards, and he was very, very, really a good sport. A very good sport. Next, what do we have? Feel the Spirit, Songs and Spirituals, conducted by John Rutter, just sort of a miscellaneous collection of goodies, and The Mass of the Children and Other Sacred Music by John Rutter, with like all of his other sacred music, or a lot of it, and the Requiem and Magnificat. Again, wow, yes, boy, you can't have too many recordings of this stuff, can you? Well, I guess you can, but it's all right. His Gloria, quite pretty. Oh, it's a beautiful work. This was a lot of fun. It's only 17 minutes, and then a whole pile of anthems. Lots and lots and lots of anthems for those who do anthemic things. Te Deum and other church music. The Te Deum is only 7 minutes long, with the City of London and Sinfonia. This is all John Rutter with the Cambridge Singers, his own group. So the performances are as good as they're going to get. And this one is Distant Land, the orchestral collection. Oh, I liked this disc. I remember I talked to him about it when it came out. We had a very nice chat about this disc. It's lovely. I mean, the music, as I said, it's completely traditional, but very, very enjoyable. So it's The Distant Land, 5 meditations for orchestra, the suite for strings, the suite Atique again for flute, harpsichord, and strings, which I still find incredibly catchy, and the Beatles Concerto for 2 pianos and orchestra based on Beatles tunes. Oh, this is fun. This was so much fun. It's, let's see, She Loves You, Eleanor Rigby, Yesterday, All My Loving, and Hey Jude. That's the first movement. The second movement is Here, There, and Everywhere, and Something. And the third movement is Can't Buy My Love and The Long and Winding Road. 23 endlessly fun-filled minutes that must have been miserable to work out in terms of copyright, but he did it, and it's terrific. Along with Leo Brower's Yesterday to Penny Lane, you know, his guitar and string orchestras of Beatles tunes. These are some of the best sort of classical versions of Beatles tunes that are out there. I just love this thing. It's so much fun. You can play it for your friends and ask them who did it or what it is, and no one's going to guess. So anyway, there you have it. John Rutter, good stuff. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.